Greetings, welcome to another entry, day three of my director's diary. Um, this entry is gonna, follow up on day two, where we're still at the table doing some table work, a few different kind of like challenges to overcome in relation to keeping the cohort or the cast on track in regards to your not only your ideas but also your plan and schedule, and also juggling um creative conversations and dramaturgical conversations with your writer. So t today we started, as usual, 10 o'clock start. As I think I've mentioned, we have a section between 10 to 10:30 where the idea is for the cast to come in and have their personal time, because when people get told to come to work at a particular time, there's they turn up at that time on the dot, so 10 a.m. So I'm always kind of aware that I don't want people to be rushing and sweating and going, oh my God, I'm sorry I'm late. So I leave that 10 to 10:30 for those that do come early and they can chill, and those that come late. But also I use it as a chance for them to kind of breathe and stretch and do whatever they want to do. We at this moment we did actually have someone who was running 10 minutes late, and they let the producer know. And with that, there's a delicate kind of negotiation around how you deal with lateness within a cast or creative team, right? Because on one hand, you don't want to kind of treat them as if they're children or school kids, but also you don't want to create a culture of it's okay to be late, right? You want to make sure that your cast and your creative team understand the value of time and timekeeping, and that you value that time. So I, typically would either, past productions, be there a little bit before, or just turn up on the time that we've asked to turn up. So I, make sure I don't kind of I put them to one side effectively. I don't try to speak to them in front of everyone and just say, listen, is everything okay? Like, do you find it easy getting in? So yeah, yeah, and they can explain. And we can make sure that we just get that fixed and sorted there and then. So far, it's been good. I haven't received any pushback from that. Of course, sometimes, you could receive some feedback depending on someone's experience or age. They might go, hey, listen, I was late because of I have this issue, I have this problem. So that's when you can go, okay, well, what can we do to make sure that maybe it's not that big of an inconvenience? But really and truly, people should be on time, because if you're waiting for someone, then you can't do certain things. So, but always make sure you are on time, otherwise you don't have a leg to stand on. Sounds simple, but make sure that's done. So we did that. 10:30 came. We began our work around the table. But in the meantime, what I did between around maybe 10 past and 10:30, I started speaking to the writer around kind of some dramaturgical notes and feedback we had, or I had, and thoughts we talked about prior. I mentioned in the recent entry, and we started to find a way to put that in the script, and kind of, with the idea to let the actors know. I did find it very interesting of a exercise. At the same time, you also have to balance. The writer is going through kind of notes or feedback from the publishing company, the Playtext publishing company. So they may be giving you kind of additional things which don't kind of necessarily relate or push the story forward. They're just saying, oh, there's a typo on this thing, I want that. But it's worth getting that in, actually. So if you can weather that, please do, so that you're consistent and you're on the same page. Um, so 10:30 came, cast again, sat down at the table, and we continued our work. It was a pretty kind of straightforward session today. We managed to get through a lot of scenes, actually. We started by catching up the actor that we'd lost the previous day due to a pre-approved appointment. So we caught them up. and made sure that we read through the scene with the new units. We discussed that, and then we titled the scene. That's very important to do, titling a scene. You see from um, a couple conversations or sessions that I've had that we mentioned about titling units in I believe in session 2, but also definitely title your or name your scene, right? So scene 1, what is the, and I try to use something simple and basic, not as punny or existential as the units, but something that really encapsulates and summarizes what's going on. They discuss broken rules, or they discuss broken, a buried truth, so that when you're looking at the scene as an actor and even as a director, you can go, oh, scene 1, oh, this is the one that's to do with that. Because when you have 7, 8, 10, 12 scenes, it will get confusing. So you want a quick, um, almost shortcut in what the scene is about. So we did that and then reread the scene, timed it, got the stage manager to time it. So you start getting an idea of running time. And also you can see the development. Maybe one starts off 9 minutes and in the end it's 11 minutes. Is it because people are really being self-indulgent and not picking up their cues? By picking up their cues, I mean not listening and responding quicker and thinking quicker. So so that's good, timing it and using your stage manager to time that. So as per usual, did a strong hour, had a 15-minute break and came back and then worked all the way till lunchtime at 1 p.m. Returned in the evening and continued the same process. We dug deep into a lot of really, really significant moments, because great thing about table work that sometimes people are against, or they're against this table work process, but it's amazing because it's a chance to discuss the play in a way that's really steady. So in a scene, instead of diving straight in and saying, let's talk about all the themes, you go, oh, this unit is interesting. They're talking about, commodification of black bodies. That reminds me, actually, I read this, or in the research, remember they watched research that a lot of them really reference the research we've done, which is amazing, and it's important that we do that. So referencing of the research is amazing, is something that's very useful and helpful. Um, so table work allows the conversation around the play to be done in a very kind of structured manner. And that really leads me into getting the actors to stay within the structure of your day, because it's very easy for conversations to veer off into something else. They themselves could acknowledge that, you yourself could acknowledge that, but finding a way to stay within, because you got to get to the end of this unit or by before lunchtime, or you got to get to the end of uniting in general by Friday. Now you got Thursday and Friday. You don't know what's going to come up. You don't know who we're going to miss. Right. So you try to kind of move forward with it. So conversations, encourage them. Don't say, oh, please, please, everybody, shut up. Let's move back to uniting. Just go, yeah, that's very true. But to kind of bring it back to the topic at hand, you can do it in a cheeky way, or you can do it very seriously, like to bring it back to this actually, or to relate it to this section, or to relate it to this play. I think you make a really good point around, the celebration of a particular culture, or the appropriation of a particular culture as well. So finding ways to kind of relate to everyone. It's not that you agree and say, oh, I agree with you. It's like you actually make a very strong point, and they do. And I think actors will always, that perfect. But actors are amazing, right? So you should always see the value that they're bringing. And the more you elevate them, and the more you big them up, the more they're going to give you amazing work. So don't be afraid to see value in them. Don't come in there going, oh, actors don't know what they're doing. You go, wow, yes, that's true. I see that actually. And if you disagree, you go, you know what, I see it differently. I see that point, but I actually see it differently. Or maybe there's a way we can find a combination of both ideas. So that's a kind of diplomatic way, but also it encourages collaboration. It encourages collaboration, which is what you want. So we did that for a little while, and kept the conversation, and we had another break. And during the break, the conversation veered off into something more kind of personal, still related to the acting, but a bit more personal. And I engaged in that. But sometimes And I allowed it to go on for a little while because I didn't want to kind of stop it mid-flow. But it's also very easy to kind of lose track of time and lose track of conversations and get seduced into these conversations. So just be mindful that you go with your stage manager, "Oh, okay, we need to come back," or you say to the cast, "So let's just finish off where we left off, doing great, incredible work. We're moving at a steady pace, let's soldier through," that kind of language. Some people, of course, might be against it because like, why are we soldiering through? We're making it tough, but actually it's beautiful to kind of acknowledge that they're doing incredible, strong work. So we did that. And then I saw upcoming that there's we really now on scene 5, and we've got two more scenes, right? Two long scenes, or two long scenes, and I saw some big units coming up. And I'm of the belief that you should really give certain scenes or certain sections time to work on, and you don't want to be rushing. So I saw that this next section that was coming up was big and sizable. So I thought we only have an hour left, instead of kind of trying to rush and open something new. And I can see also during the previous break, people were standing up to flex their backs and, stay up and stay active. And I thought, okay, they've been sat down for a bit. Let's give them a break. So similarly, you see, okay, we've worked until 5. Even if they haven't done 9 to 5, some people have been up till 6. So that's a long, long day. And it also gives them that kind of confidence, like, a director has that awareness. Yeah, that's great. He's on our side, or she's on our side. So yeah, so definitely think about that. If you're moving forward, you're like, we're in a good place. Got 2 more scenes, we got 2 more days. So let's stop for the day. So I said, I promised you yesterday that we're gonna finish early. And I didn't give you that much of an early finish. Gave them 4 minutes. This time, let's finish at 5. So we finished at 5, which was perfect for me because I'd planned a conversation with my writer on the weekend to go through the script and that kind of thing. And actually now I use this as a chance to go, let's do it now. We still will have that conversation because the script needed some additional work. So yes, so that's something we did. Use the next hour to kind of work on that. And then just before I left, I had like a little conversation around some other practical things around marketing with the producer. So that was day 3 of this production that I'm doing at the moment, and I'm really, really pleased how it's going. We got 2 more days until the end of the first week, and that's exciting to be able to say that we're moving at a pace that is steady, and it's allowing us to be creative, and the actors appear to be enjoying the process as well. Thank you for listening. Another entry of that Director's Diary. I cannot wait to see you next time.